Hey, this is Notser. This time we're taking a look at Blitz. He is a fire support agent that I have yet to cover on the channel, and I wanted to take this opportunity to do just that. Actually, have enjoyed my time playing Blitz and figuring out what is going on with this agent. And yeah, let's get into the loadout. We'll talk about upgrades, perks, and the basic features of the tank so that you can have a better understanding. And then I'll showcase some game modes and game matches. Now, the coolest thing I think about Blitz is that this is not like a typical tank from World of Tanks or even War Thunder. Blitz relies a lot on energy, and Blitz starts out with among the highest energy pools base in the game. But there's a good reason for that because the abilities require that you spend energy. So the feature, the frontman trait for Blitz is Support Master. After dealing 1200 damage in 30 seconds with agent abilities, it will double the energy regeneration for 30 seconds. So this just makes you even more potent with your ability usage by giving you double the energy regen for 30 seconds. So a really nice frontman trait when comboing with Artillery Strike, which is kind of an AoE that does 150 to 250 damage to all vehicles that are in the area, and the AoE is a little bit larger than a single tank, so if two tanks are stacked on top of each other, the AoE damage will affect both of them. You also have an electromagnetic pulse. This will slow down enemies within a set radius, and you can draw out the radius, and it will launch these little EMP devices that if you drive through it, it will affect you. And then finally, the TV missile. It allows you to just activate a helicopter-launched missile that will do 600 damage, and it effectively spawns basically like, I want to say like 300 meters above your agent, wherever you happen to be in the map, and then you can fly over to a portion of the map and obviously detonate on an enemy agent. However, it can't reach the entire length of the map, so you can't just activate this from your spawn and go to the enemy spawn. You have to drive out onto the map, but if you're driving out onto the map, you can make use of this pretty frequently, and it can do some pretty good damage and also focus down targets that are trying to retreat. So the TV missile's pretty strong for obvious reasons because the user controls it. And the artillery strike, while being nice, you can attack over a solid object, for example, and it does AoE damage. It is harder to aim than the TV missile would be. So that's just something that, as I get better, the artillery might become something I use more frequently. But as I play, the TV missile seems to be, a really nice equipment that you can use that it makes you unique to other agents. So initially, 140 energy is quite a lot when you compare it to other agents, but it's not a lot when you're expected to use 60 on a TV missile and 25 on artillery and 50 on electromagnetic pulse. You run out of energy pretty quickly, and at least initially, you don't have any energy recovery that you can leverage to make yourself even more effective at being a support agent. Now, if you look at perks, you've got the ability to add an additional artillery strike. So it goes from potentially 6 to 7. It's a decent ability against, say, the Atom or Chopper or another tank that has a lot of armor, and maybe you don't have angle to pin them. Maybe you have the ability to strike them with your artillery. But adding an additional artillery strike volley, while being nice, doesn't really add a lot because you still need the energy to fire the volley. So energy is your limiting factor. So for this to be your, your first perk, I'm not really a fan of that. It's not gonna go well. You're not gonna get a lot of value from it because you need energy and you don't have energy. The other options, you can improve your conal sight, or you could increase your energy capacity. This one is the one that I, of course, am going to target as soon as I can actually get it, which is level 8. So I'm not a fan of Bombardier. Eh. Now, for the second perks, we've got gun reload, gun aim speed, or reducing the ability cost by 5 energy points for all of them. So this goes from 25 to 20. This goes from 50 to 45. This goes from 60 to 55. So across the board, that makes you a better support agent that relies on energy-based abilities. But also, all 3 of these are decent in their own ways. I just settled on gun reload. It felt like the most obvious. As you play this, it's a little bit technical on when you should use your abilities versus when you should use your gun. And then for the third perk, gun stabilization when traversing, crew health, and silence reduction protection. Then we have radio link distance and the time that enemies are detected. Not really the best option in this third perk, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really know that there's one that's speaking to me more than another. While having the silence protection is nice for a support tank that needs to cast abilities with energy, it doesn't really seem like I need this to be effective. So I would probably just stick with Gunner's Grip for now. So energy cost is an issue, and a level 1 Blitz is going to be really ineffective with the abilities, and therefore you need to look at other ways to enhance yourself. Now, slot 1 has 2 shell improvements, one on crit multiplier, one on straight shell damage. I would just go straight shell damage. The third one is the EMP. I don't really like the EMP, plus it uses energy, so it takes away from your ability to use your damaging abilities. Slot 2, energy regeneration or energy absolute. I would choose regeneration versus absolute because you are casting so much. For the slot 3, it's either reload or better accuracy on the guns. I just go reload. The potential to thwart someone with a crit, I think, is more impactful than having just slightly better accuracy. Slot 4, you can choose between reload, which the reload adds a little bit of a critical effect. It will turn off the enemy's vehicle engine for 2 seconds if you crit them. So that's a nice added bonus there. This one improves the reticle size while standing, and it will burn energy from the player, and it'll stay active for 3 seconds. So it effectively will burn 30 energy. That could be utility useful. And the last one is EMP cooldown, which EMP is not very impressive to me. You basically need to be in close range with someone, and if you're in close range with Blitz, you're already in a bad spot. Slot 5, you got energy points or energy regeneration. I would probably lean towards energy regeneration, but energy points is also nice as well. Slot 6, you've got base acceleration or traverse speed. Reverse speed on both of them is enhanced, but one more than other. Base acceleration probably is a little bit more universally better because reverse speed is not as valuable as the other option. And to me, this is communicating that traverse speed is a cheaper valued skill benefit versus base acceleration. So I'd go with base acceleration. Slot 7, we can choose between reducing artillery's energy costs a further 5 points and enhancing the artillery range, which could be nice, versus spotting range. Now, spotting range's benefit is if you're in the TV, you can potentially see the target when you're driving the missile around, I think. Now, between these two, this is straight damage, or this is going to give you some type of early spotting advantage over other players. Either one, I probably would go artillery. You could really get the artillery down. Remember, the we've got 5 in perks. We've got 5 on this ability, the slot 6 ability. So an additional 10 energy less cost on your artillery. It goes from 25 to 15. That's a huge benefit. Slot 8. We can choose spotting range plus scope, turret traverse, or critical hits to enemy reduces the artillery strike cooldown. This might be beneficial. And of these 3 options, I could potentially see that. Obviously, you need to reduce the cost of artillery strike to further enhance it. So there could be some split benefit there. I rely more on the TV missile versus the artillery. But again, I haven't enhanced the artillery cost, so it's not as cheap as it would be in a regular buff. Slot 9, we can go traverse speed, reticle size, traverse speed, or less reticle size. So basically the same thing, just more traverse speed, less traverse speed, more reticle size benefit, more traverse speed, less reticle size. And then the last one is forward and reverse speed increases, which is fine. It's kind of a slow tank, so that's probably the one that I would get. And then for the final upgrade slot, slot 10, more energy, artillery reload time further enhanced, base acceleration is nerfed. We can also have 50% improved energy regeneration. EMP's cooldown will be further reduced. However, our engine is very vulnerable to return fire crit. Or the final one, improve speed on everything. We lose energy points, but our sprint costs half as much to use. There are some downsides, definitely. Losing the amount of energy points sucks. But the effect is nice and the speed is also nice. So between all these different options, there might be something here that I would choose over one or the other. Overall, though, Blitz is certainly a different kettle of fish compared to the other agents. Other agents, they might use one single ability, and they might always have enough energy to use it. And then the cooldown is too long that they won't actually ever benefit from it. Blitz is not like that. Blitz is 100% understand how to use your abilities and use them on cooldown, because Blitz is slower and less armored compared to the average. Its gun reload is a little slow, so it's pushing you all towards the ability usage, with your gun being it's not an afterthought, but it's certainly not your primary attack. So we'll take a chance to look at some games where I show off the ability usage and just how I play the tank, and maybe that'll answer some other questions that you might have. All right, so we're playing Blitz, and this is Conquest, 10 versus 10, unlimited spawn, which can always be fun when you can call TV guided missiles constantly every 60 energy. Yeah, you can imagine that playing something like Blitz and trying to understand the ability usage and enabling that can be a fun change of pace compared to like the Chopper or Atom or Rakenna. So we head out. Obviously, Conquest 5 versus 5 base capture. B point is the most neutral contest with the statue guy with his head chopped off. We're going to obviously cap E, the enemy caps D, and I move forward. Obviously, Blitz, it's kind of interesting they chose Blitz as the name for this because it's not a fast agent / tank. But we're going to go in and base capture, and while we're base capturing, we can quite easily activate our missile and send it out and do some damage. One of the benefits of playing Blitz is that he can activate a chip damage ability from cover, and we just have to wait on our energy to come back. So team's able to capture B point, but it is contested. Now, fire support, typical fire support, you don't want a front end engagement. A couple enemies over by C point. Conflict, obviously B as well. I want to kind of do damage to both, and we're trying to look for that crit in either his engine bay or maybe track him, something like that. But yeah, not the best situation that I could stare at, so I decided to call in the TV missile to help my team at C point, which we're able to knock out one of the targets. Enemy Ray do good damage, crit the ammo, but because of the way Ray works, activates the smoke, conceals its position, it can disengage and hopefully recover for itself. Meanwhile, my team, enemies capturing E point of all places. And I was trying to get in range of artillery. I'm just not in range though. And now, as I enhance artillery, as I previewed with the upgrades, artillery might be something more useful because it's just going to be so cheap. But right now, 25 is a lot. I'd rather just TV guide, and we do good damage to the enemy Akira. He's confused by what's doing damage. We don't get the crit. And I'm actually going to artillery strike him, and we miss it with our artillery strike. Very easy to miss with the cursor. I don't know if they could choose a different point of view on the camera that they put on the artillery, but it's really hard to land it as the target moves away exponentially. So I don't know, something to investigate there. But we're able to help with B. They are now pushing in. I'm waiting on my energy. I would like 60 energy so I can activate a TV missile. And, you know, while we're waiting on the energy, we're going to fire. And once we activate our missile, then we're just going to pick on the lowest health target that our teammates happen to be working on. Activate support master. Now our energy regen is going to be much better. So it's not really important that I use the energy activation from support master. Just getting support master is a win in itself, which is nice because then I can on cooldown use TV if I want, or if I'm, you know, improving further, artillery with the enhanced reduced cost. But yeah, we help with the enemy. We do our TV missile. You'll note that the server, because of the tournament going on, there's just a lot of hitchiness with XP rewards. And yeah, it's not playing as smoothly as it did day one, and I just think they just have a lot of people and things being tested. So yeah, I've been stuck at like rank 3 or rank 4 on Blitz for hours, even though we've figured out how to play it the most effective. Enemy team stuck in the open, and because they're stuck in the open, we're gonna call in our TV missile. And there was a low health target, but I'm going to go for the closest one. Don't know exactly how much damage we do. Looks like the ray was over there, and I tried to fire on it, but hit the ricochet there. And yeah, the Kent's definitely in the area. I'm just retreating because I don't have a lot of hit points. I work best whenever I'm just firing on cooldown. And yeah, for me, it's like, obviously artillery's nice, but it's kind of a replacement for your main battery, and your main battery is pretty good. So if you can hit your main battery or your artillery, unless you are going up against a target that's heavily armored and or angled, you're not going to get more than you would with your main battery. Now in this situation, we can just use it on cooldown and have fun with it. We miss out on 1 kill, but we do contribute to at least 1 kill, and then I should reliably, want that crit. Well, we set him up. We're the assist master. We're the point guard of our team. We're just setting everyone up for our teammates to finish them off with ram kills and single gun reloads.
Enemy casualties confirmed.
And I appreciate that they're not respecting my abilities because they're just allowing me to exist in this match.
Engine failure.
Once again, we get good damage on Ray. Once again, he conceals himself with smoke. I decide to just attack into the smoke.
Let's finish that.
It looked like Ray further projected his smoke cloud that activates with his ability usage, not from taking damage. So that's going to further conceal his position. I'm not going to really have the best shot on him.
Their ammo
But
rack's compromised.
we're doing good, helping any teammates. And I think Blitz is really good in this situation where he can sit in an objective and he can fire his guns, and if he needs to, he can just dip back behind cover and then fire his TV missile. And then I think when I get the upgrades, my artillery is going to feel more valuable than it does right now. It just feels like it costs too much. And Ray super low. Do not shoot me, Ray. Just want him to die. We're going to use our artillery strike on him in his smoke, because he was low health. And finish him off. And yeah, then we can go right into our TV missile. And this is not even an upgraded Blitz. Just imagine all of the fun ability usage you can do with this type of design. It would be really awesome if they considered this maybe for defenders and or attackers as well. Because this just is different from the tanks that have come before. This is much more a Project Cold War tank, whereas Adam and to a lesser extent Chopper will feel. But yeah, that was the first victory that we showed off, and we secured it pretty well with our team. And yeah, the TV missiles do a great job. Consistent damage. It's almost like playing a carrier and chasing down the retreating low health target. It's a really strong design, one that will probably find a place in every team comp. Next up, we've got Domination, 6 versus 6. Once again, unlimited respawn. I really enjoy Domination. Now, on this one, we're not actually going to get the best line of sight necessarily. So I wanted to show off this one when there's a focused defensive position that you have to assault, and the enemy knows where you're coming from, and how do you approach this problem? Great question. Well, we're going to get out of the way of our defender tanks, because not only do they have more health, they need to get up and absorb that for us. I like to move up relatively close to the objective before activating TV. When I activate TV, it doesn't spot for my team, but it will go. I can benefit from teammates who are spotting for me. And we don't know how much damage that target was at, but we know that we did something to him. So I'm just going to push up. Fire support doesn't want a frontal assault. You want to get a side flank and get crits. And you might say, well, you could potentially use your artillery. Well, I can sneak that in. Oh, nice ricochet. I didn't expect a ricochet there. I expected that we'd just finish him off. And he's still alive. But finally, he's dead. And then I'm going to just go right into TV and find a low health target that my team's been working on. And just hopefully doing damage to it. And, the back engine deck is probably the most reliable area that you can attack. We contribute to help finish off. I'm just going to try and throw out the EMP. Not the best situation. And he finishes us off pretty easily. Teammate smokes out. Tries to disengage. That's okay. We'll make it back. And, yeah. It's cool. It's cool that Blitz is built this way, whereas Chopper activated the C-130. Didn't need to be... Oh, that was a weird graphical glitch. It almost looked like someone was still shooting at me. Unlike the C-130 of the Chopper, I have to be a little bit closer to the targets, and I don't have thermal, and I don't get that information. So I still have to remember, okay, who was low, who's the better target.
Hey, where's your rush now?
But, if you follow the flow of battle, Blitz works really nicely in all phases, seemingly. So we did good damage. We're moving up. Trying to get a side shot, maybe a crit. Give or take. This guy had my flank, and this is just, we're donezo. Akira. Oh, Akira. It's it just smokes our body. Probably wants to avoid the ray, I'm sure.
Time to resume the experiment.
Blitz will die before you even realize you're dying. It's one of those, and ooh, this guy's pretty low over here, so we're gonna drive over to him. Land a pretty good damaging, 40%, not 40%, 40 XP. So maybe our teammates can follow up and knock him out. Yep, there we go. Always a pleasure to contribute to a target. There's a lot of targets that want to retreat, use a repair kit. Your TV missile works well against that. The artillery strike also works well to chip out the hill over time. Someone's over there. I decide to pull back into cover and focus fire on this low health target. Teammates are able to take him out though, so not really a huge gain there. So we're gonna just be the wily veteran and move in after. Oh, are you kidding me? Again? America just drove over us, and he didn't apologize either. So knocked out again. Good sneaky play there. We're just gonna have to fight fire with fire here. And team looks like they were moving in and capturing. The enemy was retreating. Obviously, he feels like the numbers are not in his advantage. So I, tried to catch up to him and do damage. You'll note that the missile can't be in the air for more than 10 or 15 seconds. It can't spot for its team. It's really just a damage ability. And, against a isolated full health target, he might just use his repair kit. So you got to be smart. You can't just farm damage. You need to farm kills, and farming kills means you need to focus the low health target. So we get some good damage on, I think, the Kent over there. And do we have more incoming? Yep, nice. Ammo crit. Ammo crits are always nice. We might get an artillery situation here. So during that, if I can reliably activate artillery at a faster rate, I can do that in between my gun reload cycle. And that's a nice thing that you can work on. But you have to drag out the cursor. Very nice, very nice. You have to drag out the cursor, and that will waste time, almost the amount of time that it would take for you to reload your gun. So I don't know, they need to improve the camera for the artillery so it's a little bit more user-friendly, I find. But we're doing good. We're defending with our team. We're firing through smoke. Easily able, and oh, this guy, well, he didn't focus me down. He found someone else that focused him down. TV's back up, so of course we're going to activate our TV. Not really a reliable target to focus. And we just keep racking up the XP. I feel like someone's rotating around me. Yep, here we go. Yep, not the best target for this. Point blank. Point blank artillery. I'm just trying to kill him before he can kill me. All right, cool. Whew. Ah, almost got out. Yeah, the cursor for the artillery is the most awkward part of it. It's the button activation's cool, the cooldown, the amount of artillery rounds that you can fire off, but that cursor, dragging it out each time and pulling it from your tank out, it becomes a chore, one that you want to avoid sometimes. So, maybe there could be some tweaks there with that control. But I definitely don't want Blitz to be like completely changed to make artillery viable. I don't want the TV missile to be removed because I do enjoy it and I do like the reliable finishing potential that it has. And like Akira yesterday had a finishing potential in focus down crit, and this has a finishing potential in more of a for a lack of a better way of describing it, it's like a aircraft carrier in World of Warships. It's a player-controlled damage that you can drive it easily to the target. It does make you vulnerable, but if you're smart... Well, looky there, he did a nice barrel roll. able to right himself. The self-righting mechanism. As you know, Cold War era tanks had a self-righting. For some reason, they removed it as modern tanks came into. I guess they felt like it was a waste of money. I do appreciate the self-righting. It's entertaining to see. So we're sending off missiles. I note my teammates engaged. And anytime I see a 1 versus 1, I'm trying to turn that into a 2 versus 1 in my team's favor. The TV missile works great. Team just barely dives on the point. The enemy needed 30 more points, but we're able to take the base. We just have to defend this now for a little bit. Looks like there's a couple enemies that are moving in. And there's in fact one enemy on the base, but he's in a really bad spot. I don't feel confident that I'm going to drag out the artillery fast enough. Now, it does seem like they want to place the artillery at your cursor. But it could have a little bit of a tweak there. But yeah, that was a close finish to that game, and we contributed a nice amount. So Blitz, pretty fun, energy-based support agent. And yeah, if you like it, comment, like the video. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.